Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dramatic Knits podcast. My name is Steve. You can find me as Dramatic Knits on Ravelry and Leading Men Fiber Arts on Instagram. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for tuning in for one more episode. And if you're new, I hope you enjoy what you see and you'll check out future episodes as well as check out past episodes available on YouTube. So it's only been about 2 weeks since our last episode, and I have some things to show you. So it'll probably be a short and sweet episode, but there's progress that has been made and things that I would like to share with you. So a quick recap. We are getting acclimated to a new staffing situation at the LMFA studio. We've hired one new part-time employee that starts tomorrow, so it would be exciting to train them. And we have a couple more interviews lined up, so hopefully we will get some new employees and expand the LMFA family. We are also potentially looking at a much bigger location, not in our town, but about a 20-minute drive away, hopefully towards the end of this week. Don't know if anything will come of it, but you don't know until you go and see. So I'll tell you more on that if anything comes of that. But I've been here working at the studio and shipping out orders, answering emails, and Andy returned back from the Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival down in Dallas, Texas last weekend. And to any of you that were at the show and stopped by, thank you so much. To those of you who chit-chatted with Andy, I'm sure he really greatly appreciated that. And we thank everyone who came out and supported us, either monetarily or just to peruse our products and get to see leading men in person. As we stated last episode, due to our staffing changes, we will be traveling solo. Andy will be doing most of the events, if not all of them, by himself for the rest of the year, and then we'll have to reevaluate in the spring when we start traveling again. We'll see where we're at, but one day at a time, right? So other than that, we did have a wonderful group of makers travel up from the St. Louis area today, and they came to the store. Even though we weren't open, we do private. Sorry, there is a fly in here. Is it fly season where you're at? Because there are flies and bees everywhere around here. So we had a wonderful group of makers come up from St. Louis. They dyed some yarn and sock blanks. They had lunch. They shopped. We had laughs. It was a good time. So thank you to that group who took the time out of their day to drive up here and share the experience with us. So other than that, there's not been a whole lot going on. We are just trying to make sure that, yarn is dyed, things are filled. We're slowly expanding our yarn repertoire, new yarns coming in all the time. So if you are not signed up for the Leading Men newsletter, you can go to leadingmenfiberarts.com, and within the first couple of seconds, our newsletter pop-up should pop up, and you can put in your email address there, or you can go to our Facebook group, Leading Men Fiber Arts, and there is a little newsletter sign up on one of the, if not at the top, it's on the left-hand side. And you can sign up via that way. But I promise not to bombard you. I send out a newsletter about once a week and showcasing new colorways, new yarns, new patterns, new make-alongs, and where we're going to be. And so just to kind of keep abreast of everything Leading Men Fiber Arts, that's the best way, if not following us on social media. So anyway, let's get to what's taking a bow this episode. I have a pair of finished socks. So I bound these off last night, and they're not blocked yet because they would be wet and I wouldn't be able to show them to you. So these are the Bookshop socks, knit out of Knit Picks Felici for the main self-striping colorway. And then I used the Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper mini skein in the It's Cold Outside colorway for the cuff, heel, and toe. So again, what I do, these are knit on a size 1, 2.25 millimeter needle. For my size foot and Andy, we're both a 10.5. I cast on 72 stitches. I knit in 2x2 rib for 10 rounds. And if I do any more than 10 rounds, I will probably run out of my mini. So I tell people 10 rounds is enough to use 120 gram mini for both socks. And then I knit for an additional 70 rounds in stockinette. So that's 80 rounds total for the cuff and leg. I put in a piece of waste yarn to go back and put in my afterthought heel. I knit another 80 rounds down the foot, and then I do a rounded toe. And all that means is I decrease on the first round, then I knit 3 plain rounds. I decrease, I knit 2 plain rounds. I decrease, I knit 1 plain round, and then I decrease every round until I get to 12 stitches, and then I Kitchener the toe. My afterthought heel, again, is pretty much the same thing. So I will pick up stitches around that afterthought, that yarn that I put in. I do pick up 2 extra stitches in both corners, and then I knit 4 rounds plain before I start decreasing. And what that does is it gives you a little bit more room, a little more give in your instep between the heel and the body of the sock. I find it fits the heel a little bit better. So I do 4 plain rounds, then I decrease, then 3, decrease, 2, decrease, 1, decrease every round again until I'm at 12. So essentially my afterthought heel is another toe, just with some plain rounds before I start decreasing. So this is another pair of socks. They will be washed, blocked, taken a photograph, and then go in Andy's sock drawer because it is now officially hand knit sock season. I've been wearing socks for about the past 2 weeks, hand knit socks, and I really enjoy it. Speaking of which, I have some in the washer from yesterday that I need to hang upstairs in our bathroom because we have the little octopus hanging clothesline thing from IKEA, and that's hung up in our bathroom. And so when I get 8 pairs of socks that need to be washed, throw them in my washer on the hand knit cycle, and which is the lowest agitation. I wash them and then I take them out and I hang them to dry. So these are done. That's all that I finished in terms of knitting, but let me show you what I'm working on. It's only a few things. I have a lot of things going to be on the needles. Well, not a lot, but a few more things soon, and I'll show you those. But first up is my Ashburn shawl. This is by Melanie Berg. I'm using a kit that I purchased from Dragonfly Fibers, I believe in 2016, at Yarn Con in Chicago. And this is knit on a size 6 US. And this is Dragonfly Fibers Dragon Sock. Make sure I'm showing you the right side. And so we have the colorway Cheshire Cat is this kind of lighter blue. Cognac is this orange. And Kelpie is this dark blue teal color. And so I'm getting close to being done. It is a more narrow asymmetrical shawl, but I am being close to being done. And I do have hopes of finishing this here in the next week or so, because I have a new project that I would like to cast on at the studio for our Create and Collaborate Club. I'll show you that here in a second. So yeah, it's going. And my only other thing that I'm currently working on is my Gresham wrap by Michael Vlodman. And this is being knit out of Blue Sky Fibers wool stock in a variety of colors. Again, I did not list them all. I completely forgot. The white is Highland Fleece, and all the other colors, I don't remember. They're in here, but I will make sure to tell you when it's all done. Flies are so annoying. I hate flies. You know how some people hate spiders? Flies don't freak me out. I just really hate them. I despise them. Anyway, I'm done with the first color section. So it's kind of this half linen stitch in your main color, and then you do this stitch sampler rows with 7 other colors. And then you do a whole bunch, as you can see here, half linen in the main body, and then you reverse these, and then you do a little bit more. So it's essentially a big worsted weight wrap. And in the pattern, it calls for 2 skeins of their wool stock 150, which is a 150 gram skein of wool stock. The normal wool stock comes in 50 gram skeins. So when I pulled yarn for this, I pulled 6 skeins of the white because they're only 50 grams and I needed 300 grams of the white. And you only need 1 skein of each of the 7 colors. But I just received today in the mail, I have not processed, it's not in the shop, but I did order all the available colors that they had in stock of the wool stock 150 so that we would have these available once I get the sample done. So if you love this sample, you would need 7 colors of the regular wool stock, the 50 gram balls, and then you would need 2 skeins of the wool stock 150 or 6 skeins of the regular wool stock if you liked, because not all the colors are available in the wool stock 150. It's limited. Plus they were out of 2 or 3 colors when I ordered, so I did substitute this chartreuse color for a color we were out of stock, but I did get more of that in that box. So yeah, I'm enjoying knitting on this. I'm going to knit on this evening while we watch a movie probably, and just relax. So I'm enjoying both of those knits, and that being said, what's in rehearsal? What am I going to cast on? Because I don't have a whole lot on the needles. My new sock project is over there. Hold on one second. So I know by the camera, it seems like I'm decently far away, but the camera is maybe a foot, if not 13 to 14 inches away from me. So it's actually much closer than it seems. But anyway, I forgot to grab my bag. I did not wind this at work. We got busy and I forgot. And so I will do it tomorrow. I have not picked my coordinating skein, but I thought this was very autumnal and it spoke to me when I was looking at my self-striping cubbies behind me. And so I picked up this Rockin' String Creations Matchy Matchy Super Sock. It's a 75-25, 230 yards per half skein, and you get 2 of them. And then this is in the Campfire S'mores colorway, which I think technically this is supposed to be for Andy. But oh well, it's for me. So I don't have any orange and brown and mottled socks. So that's what's going to be going on the needles for socks here soon, next couple of days. And then once I finish the Ashburn shawl, I'm going to be casting on a cardigan. So every 3 months we do what's called Create and Collaborate Club at our studio, and a group of us meet every other Tuesday and we work on either the same project, something by the same designer, or the same technique or style or something like that. So next Tuesday starts our first meeting of our next installment of the Create and Collaborate Club, and that is cardigans. So we're all going to knit a cardigan, and I decided to pull yarn that I had from my stash and a pattern that I bought at Rhinebeck a couple of years ago for a cardigan. And that cardigan is the Newcastle cardigan by Todd Gockin for Harrisville Designs. And so it's hard to see with this black, but it's got this honeycomb cable texture on it. And I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see it there on the sleeves. And this actually calls for, I believe I have what it's called for. Let me check. So this calls for Harrisville Watershed, which is a worsted weight. And I'm using Highland, but it's a different worsted weight. They used penstock, I'm using ebony. I believe this is the right one I have. But this is gonna be for that cardigan, so. Excited for that. Should be fun. It's not pieced, which is excellent because most men's patterns are pieced, and I've done that. And this is a top-down raglan with a double thick shawl collar, right up my alley. So I'm going to be casting that on next week. I'm super excited about that. All right, behind the scenes, my spinning. I actually have some finished spinning to show you as well. So this is some hand spun. This is in the colorway Hot and Sweet. It is dyed by Three Waters Farm. I was part of their club for a good long while. And this is 100% Cordell. It's a two-ply fractal spun, and it's about a sport weight. It is 290 yards to the 4 ounces. And this will be up in the online store and available in store this week once I get it up. I was just waiting to show it to you. So yeah, it's a 2-ply, 290 yards. Purples, oranges, reds, a little bit of yellows in there. Hot and Sweet. So that's done, some hand spun. And then I started some new fiber. This is from Into the World. This is the second 2 ounces. Again, I'm gonna do a 2-ply fractal because that's what I do. And this is Into the World Superwash Targhee in the Bounty Hunter's Picnic colorway. So it's got grays, a little bit of brown in there, aqua, some tans. Yeah. So I'm spinning the first 2 ounces right now, and then I will split this into thirds and then spin those as the second ply and then ply them together. All right, in the Scene Shop, cross stitching. So I am stitching the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 stitch along called Fruits of Plenty. And I'm stitching this 2/2 using 2 shades of blue DMC on a 32 count Belfast linen from Picture This Plus in the Tyco colorway. And I don't have much to show you because I moved my Q-snap over and I've started here this morning, but I have finished the whole top row, which is about 25%. It's the January, February, and March sections, but I am going to show you a picture of that here. So I'm super happy with how this is coming out. I mean, it's going to take forever and a day, and I'm going to be like 65 when it's done, but every stitch counts, right? So, yeah, I asked Andy, I said, can you please take a picture of this before I put it back on the Q-snap? Because I want to work on it. And I put on almost 300 stitches yesterday. I worked on it a couple of times throughout the day. So yeah, not much to see here in the, new April section, but it will be coming along. And then let's move into In the Spotlight. What am I watching? So we finished the entire series of Versailles on Netflix. It was 3 seasons, and it's about King Louis XIV and him establishing Versailles and him fighting and maintaining and managing, keeping his rule over France. And I actually really enjoyed it. Andy gets into the historical fiction realm and things like that, and he knew a lot more and taught me a lot more about his reign and the people involved. But it was actually a really enjoyable show. The costumes set and the wig budget alone is probably mind-blowing, but it was very, very good. And they do have all 3 seasons on Netflix. I also watched the entire season of Devil in Ohio. I forget her name, but she was the lead in Bones, is the lead in this one. And this is about a young girl who escapes a cult, and this hospital psychiatrist ends up becoming her guardian and moving her into her family, and sinister things start to ensue. And yeah, it was okay. It was watchable. One of our employees was watching it. She's like, I couldn't. She's like, I stopped. I got bored. And it was okay. There was promise in the beginning, but then I was like, I also finished watching In the Dark season 1. This is on Netflix. They just released the 4th season on there. I'd never heard of it before. I guess it's on the CW. And it takes place and is filmed in Chicago. So I know a lot of what they're referring to, and they go to a lot of suburbs, and they even came down to Peoria and things like that, and going over to like Madison, Wisconsin and Milwaukee and things. But this is about a blind woman and her best friend / roommate. And essentially she's kind of given up on herself and life and just doesn't really care what, what she does to anybody or herself, but she has one friend who is a young black gentleman who sells drugs on the street, and she smokes, and so she always hangs out with him in the alleyway by her apartment, and she then goes to meet up with him, and she stumbles upon his body and realizes by touching his face that it's him. She runs home to go call the cops, and by the time the cops get there, there's no body in the alleyway. And so she is driven / obsessed with finding his killer, and, insanity and ensues. And the first episode, I was like, this is a bit of dark humor, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And it's a lot of, I don't know. But then I really, really got into it. I'm already into season 2. I'm enjoying watching it. So I definitely give In the Dark a thumbs up. It's on Netflix. And then I also watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye. And I don't know why I wanted to watch it. She won Best Actress, I believe. Oh, what's her name? Jessica Chastain. She was really good. The story was all right. It's based on Tammy Faye and what's his name? Life as televangelical preachers or whatever. I'm not religious, so I don't follow all that, but just their story and kind of her growth and development of her character and the downfall of their family was an interesting story. So I enjoyed it. I watched it one night while Andy was in Dallas and would give it a thumbs up. All right, stash enhancement. I don't have much, but I did get in a skein of Barnyard Knits. As you know, I usually buy a skein of her special discounted colorway each month. And this one doesn't say on here. I would guess this is August or September's, maybe August. This one is called Honeycomb. Again, under 75/25 superwash merino nylon. So I got that in. And that's pretty much it. In terms of center stage, all things leading men fiber arts. I didn't bring any new products. I even forgot to bring our 2 new things that released on Saturday. The first up would be our colorway of the month, which is called Hocus Pocus. I did not even know, I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know that the Hocus Pocus 2 movie came out on the last day of September, so it worked out well. It's this kind of murky green and this moody purple, variegated. It's fun. Andy designed this colorway, and it's been selling pretty well in the store. So pre-orders for Hocus Pocus on any of our yarn bases or our hat or sock sets are available through October 8th. You get them at a special discounted rate if you order during the pre-order time. We did have our Crafternoon this Saturday. Don't forget, if you're local, every Saturday we do Crafternoon from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And sometimes there's 1 or 2 people, sometimes there's 5, 6, 7, 8 people. So it just depends on what people's schedules line up for. But we had a good time this Saturday. Don't forget, we always have a number of make-alongs going on in the Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group. There's usually 3 going at any given time. We just finished one up at the end of September, and we started a new one for October, November, and December, and that is for the Sun Singer shawl, which was our Kate Knitting at the Estate exclusive color, our kit we did for our goodie bag. So we worked with Stephanie Lotvin, who is Telly Bean Knits, and she designed this shawl inspired by one of the parks / garden / statues at the Allerton Estate, where we hold our annual knitting retreat. And so we designed a special color for it that was exclusive to our attendees, but we do have colors that are similar that would suit the bill if you fell in love with the colors in the pattern. But as with all of our make-alongs, there is a coupon code in the Ravelry thread for discounts on yarn. And so you get 3 months to knit the shawl, you post a picture, and for this particular make-along, 1 grand prize winner will be selected to win a $50 gift certificate to the Leading Men Fiber Art Shop. So it's pretty much that easy. If you need yarn, get it at a discounted rate, enter, and see if you can win some more money to spend on yarn. So The Sunsinger shawl was designed using 2 skeins of our sparkle sock as well as 1 skein of mohair. Now you can use all 3 fingering weights if you want, and you don't have to use sparkle sock. It's completely up to you and what you want to do. She does give you those options in the pattern. I'm really gonna kill this fly. I'm really gonna kill it. Oh, just buzzed in my ear too. That is like the worst noise. Almost as bad as a mosquito. Anyway, last but not least, let's talk about our upcoming shows. So Andy is going to be doing quite a bit of traveling. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. So we will be vending at the Indie Untangled event, which is a pre-Rhinebeck event held in Socrates, New York. And so Andy's going to be driving up there, and we will be vending there. We have a small booth, so we are only going to be bringing a limited number of bases, basically all of our Showstopper and all of our DK weight. We also have designed an exclusive colorway just for the Indie Untangled event, which we will have a limited number of dyed skeins on Showstopper and Dramaturg at the event. But then we also will be holding pre-orders on our website. And if you can't make it to Indie Untangled, there is Indie Untangled Everywhere, which is a free virtual event. Just Google Indie Untangled and you can sign up for their free marketplace, and that will give you access to their online shopping guide where all the vendors are pretty much doing an exclusive colorway, kits, things like that, so that people who cannot make it physically to Indie Untangled still can enjoy the fun. And there will be a link there where you can pre-order the exclusive colorway that we have designed for this event, and it's called Road to Rhinebeck. So I'm excited for it, and I've got everything dyed up. We just have to get everything labeled and then get Andy on the road. So he is literally going up for that Friday event and heading back home. Because I can't travel and Andy has no ambitions to go back to Rhinebeck, he is going to be coming back. We're going to get him situated, and then he is going to be driving to Fletcher, North Carolina for SAF, which stands for the Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair, which is in Fletcher, North Carolina at the county fairgrounds. And it's always been a good event for us. This is our 4th year returning, and we will be in the main expo building, and we have a nice big booth there. So if you're around, please come by and say hi. Chat Andy's ear off. He will love it, because I know, especially without me being there, he gets a little bored. And he doesn't get to wander as much as he usually does when I'm in the booth with him. So check us out at SAF, which is the following weekend, and that's going to be October 21st through the 23rd, I believe, is when SAF is going on. I think it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't think it's 4 days. And then Indie Untangled will be on Friday, October 14th. So those are where we're going to be at over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully I will be joining you before any other events happen, as I'm hoping to finish up that Ashburn shawl and show you some progress in the future. So with only being about a half hour left, I hope you enjoy this short yet sweet episode. And as always, you can find show notes at our blog, which is dramaticknits.com. We have the Dramatic Knits Ravelry group. And if you're looking for all things Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can find us at leadingmenfiberarts.com, as well as our Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group and Facebook group. And if you're local, please join the Leading Men Local Crafters group on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up or a click like or subscribe. And yeah, until I see you in a couple of weeks, I hope you make something dramatic.